Hi, my name is Stacy Russell. This is my workstation development and presentation for week 4. My subject is social studies, geography, and I chose the 5th grade. My topic is map skills. For my first learning station, the activity is called United States Twister. The students practice their map skills by playing a rendition of the game Twister by using the states and game cards. What I will do is take a clear shower curtain, and I'll use a projector to trace this map of the United States without the states identified. The students will be in groups of 4 in this learning station. Group 1 will read the card, and Group 2 will identify the state. For example, Group 1 will read a card, and it will say, put your right hand on North Dakota, and then Group 2 will have to find North Dakota and place their right hand on that state. If the student gets the correct state, then they'll ring a bell. If a student gets the incorrect state, there's going to be a piece of paper that'll be numbered. It'll say states missed, and if a state is missed by a group, then they'll write that state down, and that will then let the teacher know what needs to be gone back over for the students. In the group, the game will continue until a player loses their balance, or whatever group will lose their balance and falls, and then the groups will switch positions. For special programs, what will happen is the index cards will have, instead of just saying put your right hand on North Dakota, for special educations or English language learners, the index card will say put your left foot on Hawaii, and there will be a picture of the state for the student to identify. This will help the student. They can use the same directions as the other students, but this will help them identify the state where it's located. For this activity, I used the learning style visual and tactile and auditory. For the multiple intelligence in this activity, I used body movement, spatial, and interpersonal. In my next learning station, it's called Where Am I? The board behind me talks about latitude and longitude, and it has different latitude and longitude on the board. With this game, the students will need, the teacher will provide a large map of the United States, and the students will have stick pins. In this station, the students will work in pairs. One student will read off the latitude and longitude from an index card, like this, and then the student will use the coordinates that are given to them on the index card. They'll use the stick pins to mark the location after they follow the latitude and longitude to find that location. And the student will then say out loud the location, and the students will look on the back of the index card to check their answer. For special programs, I'll have the names, the latitude and longitude, and then I'll also, for special education, we'll also give the city and the state. This will narrow their choices down. It'll still allow the student, special education student, to use their map skills and then knowledge of latitude and longitude, but it will give them just a little bit of extra help to locate using their latitude and longitude. For this learning station, I use the learning style auditory, visual, and tactile. For the multiple intelligence, I used intrapersonal, spatial, and interpersonal. In my next learning station, it's titled Finding Your Way. The students will use their compass rose and map scale and following directions from a starting point. In this activity, students will use, they'll work in pairs. They will be given a starting point and a destination on a map from an index card. For their partner, they won't let their partner hear what the destination is. The student must look at the map, and students can use a map that's already, they can use a local city map, or for my GT students, I'm going to have them draw out their city map. It looks something like this. This is the city of Bullard. It's something that I drew out. And what they'll do, the students will look at the map and write down the directions to the destination given for his partner. So what the students will do, they'll look at the card and they'll give them a starting point, which on this one, it's Brook Hill Lower Campus. Okay, they'll write down the directions, and what will happen is the other student will have to look at the written directions, trace on the map with a pencil, following the directions given. Okay, and then they should arrive at the correct destination by reading that person's directions. Like I had said before, for my gifted and talented students, I'm going to have them create a map of the city. They can use that map instead of using a local map that's already drawn out. The students must follow the same outline for the game, but use the map that they created. These students will also make their own direction cards as well. They won't follow mine that I have already made up. They'll make their own. Students that have dyslexic tendencies will be given the destination, but must find the shortest route to the destination using map visuals. So the students that may have dyslexia, they will be given both the starting point and the destination. What they'll need to do is just find the shortest distance to get to that destination. For this, the learning style, I use auditory, visual, and tactile. Multiple intelligence, I use linguistic and spatial, interpersonal, and intrapersonal. For my fourth learning station, it is titled What's in a Name? The students will use clues to identify the names of cities with unusual names. And the students will demonstrate their abilities to plot cities on a map. And what the students will need for this activity is access to the internet, computer, and then there's 2 worksheets. And I normally don't like to use worksheets, but this is just asking questions so that the students can guess what the names are. And then what they'll do is they'll read the sentence or the clues, and they'll use those clues to identify the name of the city. Once the students have, let me just give you examples of some of the questions. One is money, 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 Cache, Virginia. And then it says a short word for scream would be Yale, Arkansas. It's clues like that. Once the students have finished the sheet and guessed all of the names of the cities, the students will then choose 3 to 4 of the cities and research the internet to locate those cities. The students will use MapQuest and Bing Maps to do this. Students will then plot their cities on the map by using their researched information, using latitude and longitude as well. For special programs, gifted and talented students will give the latitude and longitude of their city's location And then they'll also report 3 facts that they learned about the city during their research. Special education students will be provided with a word bank, which I've put up here. They'll be provided with that word bank with the city's names in alphabetical order to help the students complete the questions. And the learning styles that I used were visual and tactile, and the multiple intelligence, interpersonal, intrapersonal, linguistic, and spatial. And that's the conclusion of my workstation development presentation for week 4. Thank you.